Beautiful you. Yes, you who's watching this video right now. I see you. You're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, and you carry within you a treasure chest of wisdom. Years of experiences, challenges that you've overcome, lessons that you have learned. You are absolutely incredible. But somewhere along the way, you stopped seeing it, didn't you? You got so busy taking care of everyone else's needs, so caught up in wondering if you're doing enough, being enough, that you forgot to notice your own light. You're looking at everyone else's perfect moments while doubting your own beautiful journey. But it's there. What if I told you that feeling stuck isn't your story? It's just a chapter you've been rereading for too long. Today we're going to turn this page together. My journey from perfect wife to freedom wasn't planned. It began one summer morning in 2020, and those words from my book will take you there. But before I do that, please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love if you could do that. It really helps me, and if you like this video, leave a little thumb up and maybe also share a comment with your biggest takeaway from this video. I appreciate you so much. And before I start to read, I want you to know why I'm sharing this. The reason is that if me sharing my story, my journey, can help just one woman who feels stuck, maybe it is you. And you can learn from my experiences and perhaps do things different from what I did. I'm not here. Oops. These things happen sometimes when you record. You should see my setup. I am not here to promote leaving your husband. I'm here to encourage you to step into responsibility and do the inner work before it's too late, before you end up in a situation I am about to share with you. We're all in this together, and there is nothing right or wrong. We can just learn from our own mistakes, but we can also learn from others' mistakes, and that's why I'm sharing this. It's a work in progress. It was Sunday morning in July 2020. I was preparing breakfast in the kitchen while I was watching my granddaughters playing on the beach through the window. It was one of those magical mornings in our Swedish paradise just outside Stockholm. The sun was warm, the wind was smooth, and the butterflies were dancing in the sky. Everything seemed perfect on the surface. Me and my beautiful husband and our dog Frankie lived in this wonderful beach house together. Despite all this, I held this emptiness within, and this feeling came with so much guilt and shame for not being satisfied with such a privileged life. This weekend my daughter was visiting us and giving me an extra hand with the grandchildren so I could catch up with things running behind after having the girls with me for 5 weeks. And they were 2 and 4 years old. When I went out to the garage to bring in more eggs, I met my husband there, busy doing his things. We fell into an argument and I totally lost the concept of being the sweet, good and grateful wife. I guess I could be compared to a well-shaken bottle of Coke, without the bubbles and the sweetness, only the dark bitterness which exploded in the face of my husband. I didn't know it there and then, but this morning I had reached a point where I couldn't pretend any longer. There was no more room to store all the unexpressed feelings that I was carrying. the feeling of being stuck and the frustration of not being understood was calling for attention. The trigger was my husband's behavior, but it wasn't about him. It was about me. Me ignoring my feelings for years and not knowing who I was, not knowing what I truly wanted in my life. 3 hours later, I saw myself driving away in our motorhome. I needed to breathe. I needed space, and I needed time to reflect upon why I felt the way I did. One part of me held on to the story of how my husband triggered me with his behavior. Another part, which I didn't know at that time, knew it was time for me to grow up, start taking responsibility for my life, making myself a priority without being codependent. There was a strong force from within guiding me out in nature where my healing journey started. I had no intention to leave my husband for good, but days became weeks and weeks became months, and there was an emotional roller coaster between us with a lot of hurt feelings and misunderstanding. If I had known by then what I know today, I would have communicated in a totally different way. I was scared, I was influenced by others, and I let my ego make all the decisions. I honestly don't know if there could have been another outcome. The only thing I know is what took place. We divorced in December 2020, and I drove down to Portugal in our motorhome. When I look back at that Sunday morning in July, I realize something really deep, that what we think and what we feel is what we make real. I was thinking that I wasn't enough, feeling stuck, and that became my reality. But nature taught me to think differently. I had so many eye-openers when I was there on my own, in the forest, and just being. And all these aha moments that I had there on my own made me curious to go deeper and to continue on this journey with understanding who I am. And that's the journey that I've been on now for 4.5 years. And that's also the journey that I want to inspire you to take, because it is so worth it to finally understand who you are with all this greatness within. And whatever this voice is telling you about not being enough or feeling stuck, it's not true. It's not you. There is so much more to you. I've had so many insights after my divorce. In my marriage, like many of us, I was focused on what needed to change in my husband. Can you relate to this? But here's the truth that I discovered. When both partners focus on their own growth, magic happens. Think of it like this. Instead of pointing fingers, saying you need to change this and that, imagine if both of us said, I'll work on me for you. We can call it the growth dance. I do me for you, and you do you for me. Isn't that beautiful? That simple shift changes everything. When both partners take responsibility for their own thinking and growth, the relationship naturally transforms. No pushing, no trying to fix each other. Just two people growing side by side. Looking back, if I had focused on my inner work during my marriage, it would have benefited my husband. And if he had done the same, it would have benefited me. That's the beautiful irony When we stop trying to change others and instead focus on ourselves, everyone wins. This doesn't just apply to marriages. Every relationship in your life can transform when you shift from what needs to change in them to how can I grow for them. Here's the truth. You can only change you. But when you change you, everything around you begins to shift. This journey led me to my purpose, and I have gathered my learnings in an ebook that I call Freedom After 50. It is 3 simple steps that you commit to, that you apply to your daily life, and which will help you break free from where you are now, when you are in this situation of feeling stuck and not knowing how to move forward in your life. Your next chapter is waiting to be written, and I would love to be your guide. So just comment freedom below and I'll send you the link. When you choose you, everyone around you will also choose you, because you will instantly raise your vibration, and on a higher vibration you will start to attract the things that you want in life. In my previous video, I introduced you to the gratitude cycle, which is the quickest way to raise your vibration. And you can find it just by clicking here. Thank you so much for watching this video, for being here. I really appreciate you and I love you. See you in my next video.